Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to continue working on the mini jet boat project, but for this video I'm going to put most of my attention on the rear of the boat. And if you look here, you can see I have got the boat spun around where the rear end is now facing the front of the shop, and I did this because it's easier to get to the welder and all of my tools, plus the light is better for making videos with it pointed this direction. So for this video, I hope to finish welding the corners of the hull. I never did really finish that. Plus I want to get the swim deck on here, the little roll bar that goes here on the back, the pump protectors, and I really would like to get just about all of the welding done. I'd like to be done welding on this project. So like I said, my goal is to get all of this welding here on the back of the boat done. So let's get started. So I want to show you what all needs to be done here. First, I need to finish welding the hull. This seam right here on both sides is the only thing left on the hull that needs to be welded. And if you look right here, there's a pretty good sized gap right here. But what I'm going to do is I've just cut some 1/8 inch aluminum here, and I've already done this on the other side. It's a pretty tight fit, and I want a tight fit because I don't want this to move around when I start welding, but that's going to help fill in that gap. So I'm going to start out by doing this, and then the swim deck goes on right here, and I'm going to do that next. And before I get started welding, I want to show you guys these new welding helmets that Yes Welder has. They do have some new graphic designs, and I will put links to these down in the description of the video. They sent me this one to try out, and so far I really like it. I've been using those cheap Harbor Freight welding helmets, and this one is a night and day difference between those El Cheapos and this one. For one, this one has a much larger screen, or window, and it also has this unique feature here on the side. It has these tinted little side windows. Now they're not auto darkening like the front, but that helps me get a better peripheral view of what I'm looking at before I start welding and while I am welding. It really does make a difference. And I will have links to these down in the description of the video. And remember, if you're going to buy anything over on that Yes Welder webpage, use the discount code Making Stuff, and you can save 10% off your entire order. Now it's not just on these helmets, it's anything on the webpage, discount code Making Stuff. So I am done welding the rear end, and I am very happy with the way that it turned out. And just like the last video where I met a milestone in the project by getting that engine mounted and running, I have also met a milestone in this video, and that is I am pretty much done welding on this boat. And what I mean by pretty much done welding is all of the major components, all of those big pieces of aluminum and all of the parts that came from Jetstream on that pallet, they are welded and in place. Does that mean I'm going to be putting the welder away for good? No, it does not, because I do need to weld some supports to the bottom of the boat to hold up the floor. And I also need to weld this steering helm in place once I get the floor and seats mounted. So yeah, there'll still be a little bit of welding, but all of the major welding is pretty much done on this project. And don't get me wrong, I have enjoyed welding this entire project, but there's a part of me that's also glad that the welding is over with. So I'm getting pretty close to getting this project done. Like I said, I am waiting for the aluminum to get here so I can do the floor. I think it's going to be next week before that comes in. But once the floor is installed, I can mount the seats and the steering, get all that situated. And then really the only thing left to do is figure out something to do with all this wiring. I am going to have to cut some of these wires and extend them. I've got to figure out some way to run the throttle and the reverse bucket and the trim bucket. But other than that, I'm getting closer and closer to getting this project done. And here's one other problem I'm going to have to solve, and I want to show it to you guys because somebody out there may have a solution for this. If you do, please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. And that is where to install a bilge pump. The ideal place would be to set it in the lowest part of the boat as far back as you can get it, but there's only 2 inches of clearance between the intake and the stringer, and I cannot find any bilge pumps that will fit in that space. Now this one will go in there, but it will not go all the way down, so the water would have to get about 1.5 inches deep before this would kick on. Now one other way of mounting this would be to put it inside the stringer like this, but I don't know how well that's going to work. It may suck the water out faster than it can flow through these little cracks here in between the stitch welds. And also I've seen where some people just mount them, the bilge pumps, on top of the stringer. Like I said, that would work, but the water would be pretty deep. At this point, it would probably be over 2 inches deep before this bilge pump would kick on. The ideal thing to do would be to find a bilge pump that has a pickup tube, and then I could run that tube down inside of here, but I cannot find anything like that. So like I said, if you have a solution to this, if you've built one of these boats and you have solved this problem, I would love to hear from you. So things are getting pretty exciting around here because this project is getting closer and closer to being done. It's time to get this boat out on the water and start having some fun with it. So I think I'm going to end the video here. If you liked it, please give me that big thumbs up. And if you aren't a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any upcoming Making Stuff videos. And thanks for watching.